Hello there, and welcome to my first episode of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Tutorials. In this first episode, I'm going to be going over, in my opinion, the most important thing to get anywhere good in a video game, and that is the controller and controls. Now first, I'm going to be going over the Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons. These Joy-Cons will be what comes with your Nintendo Switch when you buy it, and will be the common beginner remote. Now, just so you know, these Joy-Cons can be used together, so they will be held like this in your hands. There's also um, a attachment piece that you can buy, you can attach these two together and use them kind of like a Pro controller. I will get into that one later. But as of right now, I do not have that attachment, so I will just explain it as if it is like this. Now, firstly, there are 4 groups of buttons that you can kind of visualize here. There's more than that, but there's main groups. Firstly, you've got your stick, your left stick specifically. This will control your direction in the game. So left, right. If you are in certain maps, you can also fly. And if you want to go down or lose altitude, you'll press the stick forward. If you want to gain altitude, not much, it's kind of a glide, but if you want to gain altitude, you pull this back. The second set is your letter buttons. You've got A, B, Y, and X. The A button is meant to accelerate. The B button is meant to decelerate. The Y button is commonly used in the menus. And the X button is commonly used to look behind you. Now for the Y button, as I said, it's used in the menus. If you want to know what specifically in the menus this does, I will go over that in a future video, but just for your reference right now, when you are in a race, you will not be commonly using this Y button. Now you've got 2 sets of buttons here on the bottom. You've got your direction pad and you've got your right stick. When using these 2 controllers together, these 2 will have almost no use. The direction pad, you've got down, up, left, right, and you've got your 360-degree movement here, but these will not do anything when these are used together. You've also got 2 buttons up top here. You've got your plus and your minus. Both of these will open up the in-game menu, where you can change certain settings on the fly. Once again, I will be going over this in a future video, but I'm just hoping to explain what each of these buttons does. So if you want to get into the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe menu, you'll press these buttons. There are also 2 buttons on the bottom here. The image capture button on the left side here, which I'm pointing to, and the right side here, which is the Nintendo Switch home button. So unlike up here, these 2 buttons which open up the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe menu, this will open up the Nintendo Switch home menu. And this button, they both pause the game in a sense if you want to pause the game, but this one will allow you to go to other games on the Nintendo Switch. Now, you may notice, at least on the left side here and on the right side, there are 4 buttons. When these controllers are used together, these 4 buttons will have no use at all, and you should not even think about these. But when they're used together, which I will explain in a minute, they do have a use. Finally, there are your bumpers and triggers. The top ones, your right and left bumper, are commonly during a race used for aesthetic purposes, such as using your car's horn. This will have no major use in the game, but if you are around somebody as you are racing, it will make them jump in their seat. It will not affect them at all, though. Then you've got your right and left triggers. These are commonly used for doing a more advanced technique called tricking or drifting. I'll explain these in a future video, but for now, Just so you know, these are used for drifting and tricking. I also forgot to mention, but the left and right bumpers are both used in the menus to adjust certain settings. Once again, I will go over this in a future video, but for your current knowledge, right bumper and left bumper can either use the horn, or when in a menu, they can adjust certain settings. Now that I've gone over what they do on their own, I will explain what they do when they are not on their own. I'm going to explain it with the red controller, or as it probably looks on the screen, the orange controller. So this controller, as you may notice, is held like this for the races. Now when it is held like this side controls the direction, but now the direction is controlled like this. Once again, go right, go left. When in the air gliding, you want to lose altitude or gain altitude in some way, shape, or form. Then you've got your directions here. Now instead of pressing the A to accelerate, B to decelerate, X to look behind you, and the Y button in the menu, this will be direction based. So the rightmost button will be the acceleration button, the bottom button will be deceleration, the left button will be used in the menus, and the the top button will be used to look behind you. And then you've also got your menu button right here. On the top here, by menu button I mean the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe menu button, not the home button. On the top here you may notice that instead of earlier how we had 4 buttons on the top, we now only have 2. Now when you are, say, in the menu, these will do the effects of the right and left bumper, while in a race, this button right here will be used for doing the drifting and tricking. This button will be used for using your character's horn. Other than that, these 2 buttons are just used. Just imagine it is used as the right bumper and trigger, and the left bumper and trigger in the same button. Now, if you are using these on their own, there's only one difference between using, say, the left side and the right side Joy-Cons on their own. You might notice that these 2 buttons are, first off, in different locations, as well as being completely different. While the minus and pluses are different, they have the same use. These ones will be different every single time. If you see the square, the image capture button, it will always be the image capture button. If you press this trying to go to the Nintendo Switch home menu, it will not bring you there. It will just take a picture of your screen or a video of your screen. This button right here will always be used to get to the Nintendo Switch home menu. It will not take a picture or a video if you press this button. Once again, these can be used together, or they can be used on their own, both of which are viable in any situation. But I will, yeah. Now there is one other controller that I did not mention, and that is the Nintendo Switch Pro controller. I do not currently have one on me, but I do have a somewhat of a substitute, just to explain for now. In a future video, I will show you the Nintendo Switch Pro controller, but as of right now, this is going to be my representation. This is an Xbox controller. You may notice it looks, if you place these right on top of each other, you may notice, oh, they are very similar. You've got your left stick and direction pad, except this time instead of buttons, it is an actual direction pad. This is the exact same as what it will look like on the Pro controller. On the right side, you've got your letter buttons and your right stick. But you may notice the letters are in different positions. Instead of going A, B, Y, X, it goes B, A, X, Y. Now, for just all intents and purposes, just imagine as if it is like this. This is an Xbox controller, but for any Nintendo Switch controller, it will always be A, B, Y, X. So in that case, it will be held something like this, or any other way that you want to grip this controller. I've seen people grip it like this, like this, and I don't know, whatever way you want to hold it. But if you want to accelerate, you would press this button to decelerate, this button will be used in the menu, and this button will be used to look behind you. And if you want to control which way you're going, this way to go right, this way to go left, this way to when you're in the this way to go down when in the air, lose altitude, this way to go up or somewhat gain some altitude when you are in the air. And that is the controllers. I hope you found this video helpful to you and you can use it in your future gaming with kids or with someone you just want to have fun with. In the next video, I will be going over more pre-race information, such as what kind of steering do you want to use? What kind of character do you want to use? Do you want help while you're steering? Do you want help accelerating? What kind of car do you want to use? That is all information I'll be explaining in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.